Sometimes I just hate how the internet just comes up with words and make it trendy. Like for example, pretty much old people are now called boomers. Young people who are the newer age are pretty much young are now called millennials. And now people who are in the age of 20 for like 40 or 30 are now called Gen Z. And I think it's quite hilarious, but at this point, you pretty much read the title. iDubbbz is now considered a simp. I think it's quite hilarious to think that a word that pretty much evolved from cuck to incel, now it's a simp, pretty makes pretty much makes me laugh on how silly things have gotten. To make a long story short, iDubbbz has been called a simp. But why, you may ask? He pretty much he pretty much has his girlfriend having a OnlyFans account, aka selling nudes on a website, pretty much. And everyone's pretty much criticizing him and his girlfriend, especially him mostly, since he's being a hypocrite. And I think it's more ironic because if you really look at the whole situation, it's only solely up to him to make the decision whether or not if he still wants to be with his girlfriend. And it seems like he doesn't really care because there have been pictures of him pretty much enjoying the stuff he bought with his girlfriend. And it's kind of ironic in a way because if you really look at it, he doesn't really care. And I think it's kind of disappointing because now the individual who criticized people is now doing what those individuals did. And it's quite ironic in some ways. At another hand, it is kind of dumb for him to be with a person that's doing this because if he plans to marry her, I think it'll be really difficult to explain to his children how he pretty much let mommy sell nudes even though they were ready financially well as it is. Other than that, it's pretty much down to the beat of how you look at things. He pretty much lets her do what she wants. It's a prevalence if you watch any clips from before when they started dating towards now. It seems like he doesn't really fight back or doesn't seem like they actually have any sort of like arguments. And it seems like she's always dominant in the relationship. Now, does this mean he's a simp? It's prevalent to what it is. If you really look at the whole situation, it's pretty much not a big deal unless you know, take offense to a guy literally being dominated by a woman. He has responded to the whole situation with trying to clarify it with a meme, which is kind of dumb because you don't really give an explanation or try to tell people why you let your girlfriend do this. And yes, people have to understand that when someone is in a relationship, they both have a saying in this. You have a saying of whether or not you share a car ride together or who pays what, the decision to decide your whole future in selling nudes on the internet, but what I know. At the same time, it's kind of difficult to see what this foretells for his future videos because now people are just saying that he could just be pretty much just called a simp in the comment section, like, oh, he uploads this? Well, the person he makes the content cop on will just be like, okay, simp. And now it's just pretty much prevalent. Even though it's kind of dumb to think that as a person who pretty much like criticize others, now it's ironic to see that he's pretty much in the same position as they are. It's quite ironic, but at the same time, really weird to see his whole fans. Pretty much everyone in his subreddit or his fans in general are like trying to like figure out what to do since they're trying to establish the whole factor of him pretty much letting his girlfriend do this, and it's quite hilarious. Other than that, I think the other thing that pretty much makes this hilarious is that the people who try to defend him were not actually helpful. Ethan from H3 did try to like help memed on with him, but it didn't help the fact that Ethan right now isn't a prevalent YouTuber who you look at as, oh yeah, he totally is, right? Yeah, Ethan, because pretty much people already know that Ethan is pretty much became a villain of his own story, or pretty much him and iDubbbz have pretty much become exactly what they said, where you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and it's quite ironic. Another thing that was really hilarious is that another friend of his, Chris Reagan, tried to defend him and his girlfriend, but then it turns out he was described to the OnlyFans account of his girl of iDubbbz's girlfriend, and I couldn't stop laughing of how ironic that was. You try to defend someone, and you just been caught being a hypocrite because you just wanted to see your best friend's girlfriend nude. Either way, this whole situation has been pretty much prevalently hilarious, and I think it's very ironic at the same time. Either way, I do feel like people should just calm down because this is the decision that he made. And if it seems like he doesn't want to own up and actually give a proper explanation, yeah, sure, he doesn't need to explain things, but he has put himself onto the online platform, and he's a well-known person. Him and his girlfriend are, and now it seems like he does have to explain why he let his girlfriend do something like this, even though it's pretty much confirmed that his girlfriend is pretty much just a thought at this point. But at the same time, you should not really care about people's decision. I think at this time, he pretty much has fallen, you know, from from grace, and I think it's quite dumb. And I really can't judge him on the decision he makes. It's not like it's hurting anyone. And other than that, I find it more repetitive than anything to keep trying to proclaim that, yep, this is the end and all that. But you know, things are that's how things end up happening, and you can't really do anything about it. So yeah, thanks for listening.